What is up, Cowboy Nation? Dallas fan 1997 here, guys. And today I want to do the pregame video about when my Dallas Cowboys take on the Baltimore Ravens in preseason game number 2. Tomorrow night we play them. It'll be 5 p.m. in my neck of the woods, which is Mountain Time, and 6 p.m. in Central Standard Time, for which will be most of you that are watching this down there in Texas. I'll be honest with you, Fan Nation, Cowboy Nation. I'm looking for a big improvement over last week. Honestly, I know it's preseason. I know the games don't matter, but I was very disappointed with the preseason game last week. I honestly can't really name, other than the offensive line and the running backs, I can't really name a single thing that anybody did last week that was good. The coaching was atrocious. Joe Milton was not good. I would say, I guess our wide receivers did good, but it's hard to really evaluate them when Joe Milton is just so inaccurate. I will admit I was wrong about Joe Milton. I really was. But just very disappointing, man. This looked like the same old undisciplined Mike McCarthy team, if not worse. And Shoddy was talking about discipline and all this other stuff. Well, his first game as a head coach sucked. Sorry. I know it's preseason, but he sucked. The play calling was atrocious. The coaching was atrocious. Shoddy has to do a better job this week. Joe Milton has to play better this week than what he did last week. The defense has to do a better job this week than what they did last week. I know that these are backups. I know that it's preseason. But at the same time, man, this sets the tone. And Shoddy, you're a rookie head coach, man. You got to set the tone. You got to change. You got to get these guys engaged and ready. And what I saw last week was the same old crap that I've seen for years from the Dallas Cowboys, especially when Mike McCarthy was here. So first things first is I'm looking for better coaching this week than I did last week. Coaching was atrocious. I want to see Brian Schottenheimer run the football a lot more. I want to see him utilize Phil Maffa and Deuce Vaughn. And if he's ready to play, because it's not sounding good so far, Jaden Blue. I want to see what these running backs can do. I want to see Joe Milton do better. Schottenheimer did not do Joe Milton any favors last week. I'm not saying Joe Milton did good, because he didn't. But what I did notice is Joe Milton played better when the Cowboys ran the football, they used play action, and they gave him some easier passes. Shoddy has to do the same thing. He cannot make Joe Milton, who is a read option quarterback, go out there in shotgun formation and go, 3, 4, 5 wide all the time. He needs to do a lot more running the football. He needs to do a lot more play action. He's a guy that prides himself on running the football. If he even wants to have success with Dak, he can't go out there all pass happy like Mike McCarthy or has in the past. He has to run the football more. He cannot be pass happy. And that will help Joe Milton out. I want to see a lot more running the football with Phil Maffa. If Jaden Blue can play, I want to see him out there. Deuce Vaughn, Malik Davis, whoever it is. I want to see a lot more running the football. I want to see a lot more play action pass. I don't want to see all this shotgun, throwing the ball 10 times in a row type of crap that we saw last week. I want to see a lot more of Joe Milton using his legs to get outside the pocket, using his legs to get yards. Because I feel like last week we did not utilize Joe Milton to what he does and does not do well. It's the same thing I saw last year with Mike McCarthy when Trey Lance was out there. Trey Lance is not a shotgun, pure passer type of quarterback. He is a read option quarterback, even more so than Joe Milton is. And using him in a shotgun formation, constantly, going 3, 4, 5 wide, is not going to suit his playing strengths. It's just not. Okay. He needs to be in a more play action, read option type of system. And that's what Jim Harbaugh is doing down there in Los Angeles, and he looks a lot better. So I want to see Brian Schottenheimer do a lot more running the football. I want to see him do a lot more play action. Give Joe Milton some easier passes. Joe Milton looks his best when he is on the run, when he gets outside of the pocket, uses his legs to get guys open. Some of the best throws I've seen Joe Milton throw this year in training camp and even the game is when he uses play action and he gets outside the pocket using his legs. I want to see a lot more of that this next game. Defensively, I want to see better run defense. I know that we are limited with the defensive tackles we got, but I need to see better run defense. I need to see better effort. I don't want to see guys getting ran over and looking like they're not even trying out there. I want to see a lot better effort defensively. I want to see a lot better calls when it comes to stopping the run. I just want to see better play. Overall, defensively, I know we're limited. We have a lot of injuries at corner. I know that our defensive tackles kind of suck, but I want to see a lot better play, or at least effort. Even if they're not good, I want to see these guys go out there and try their best and see a lot better effort and discipline than I saw last week, because the discipline on both sides of the ball was terrible. This team needs to come in more prepared. They need to come in more disciplined, and they need to play with some heart. Right there. They got to play with some heart. I'm tired of this lackadaisical, lazy, soft effort. These players need to play with some heart. I know it's preseason. I know the game, the outcome doesn't matter, but what does matter, are these guys putting their best effort? Are they showing some progress? Are they looking better? I expect to see better this week from Brian Schottenheimer. I expect better coaching. I expect better discipline. I expect better effort. I expect better play calling. None of this, shotgun, throwing the ball 10 times in a row and not even running the ball in the first quarter. I want to see a lot more running of football. I want to see a lot more play action to help Joe Milton out so he can play better. That's what we need. His best throws come when he's outside the pocket using his legs. I've seen it in training camp. He's made some beautiful throws getting outside the pocket and using his legs. He really has. And I know his accuracy is a problem. I get that. But he's looked a lot better when he has used his legs outside the pocket. And I expect Schottenheimer to do a lot of that this week. I expect him to do it a lot. But that's my thoughts and opinions. I'm looking for improvement in the run game, improvement in play calling, clean up the penalties, and at least some more effort on defense. I don't expect them to be great, but if I can just see some better effort, that's all I care about. Because last week, man, I was really disappointed. It was a big disappointment. I expect to see better this week. And that's all I got to say. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.